All right.
Welcome to Negocios with Bisila Bokoko, Business with Bisila Bokoko. It doesn't matter if it's in Spanish or English. And today I'm very excited to speak about one of my favorite subjects, which is tourism traveling with Ken Vásquez. Welcome, Ken.
Well, thank you very much. It's lovely to be here.
Okay, Ken, tell me, tourism has been one of the industries that has been really hit by COVID-19. Do you think that all these circumstances has changed completely the industry, and what change have you perceived so far?
To say that it's changed the industry is an understatement. It almost, I think from my personal point of view, the industry collapsed totally because of misinformation, because of fear, and because I think we were sort of lured to believe that when this COVID pandemic came our way, that it would sort of somehow disappear as the weather got a little warmer. So we were unsure as to continue, stop, hold back. It really put a huge imbalance into the travel industry. So I'm bold enough to say that ultimately it did really collapse, because then we all went into lockdown worldwide and there was nobody traveling. You consider the fact our city, New York, has been robbed of almost $47 billion in annual income, most of which comes from international travelers. Now that's a lot of money to have to recoup $47 billion over a certain amount of time. All of the parts of the industry, we all talk about the travel industry, but you consider New York, the performing arts, the hospitality industry, the restaurant business, they were hit so hard, pushing the unemployment rate to 10.2% just in Manhattan or in New York City as a whole. So that's devastating. But what followed and ensued beyond that really is something that disturbs me as an individual, is this new fight behavior, where I think we were all questioning what happens next, when does it happen next, who do we listen to, how do we assimilate what we do next, and we locked down, will we ever be able to travel again, what, all of those questions. It created a dynamic of I want to fight with anyone and everyone. A sense of self-entitlement elevated. You read stories today that members of the TSA who keep us safe before we board aircraft, they want to walk off of the job because they're just sick and tired of unruly behavior at the airports. Passenger control or behavior is way out of control. So while I think the industry collapsed, and yes, it did, it's coming back, but I don't think, in my opinion, that we will return to any level of normality until everyone just settles down and follows the rules and remembers that we are all in this together. As a country, we, the United States, as you well know, we're opening to international tourism on the 8th of November, which is a very exciting time to look forward to. But then, of course, passengers that are coming in have to be vaccinated, have to prove negative testing before they arrive on our shores. And I think that is vital, again, that we all follow the rules. I'm not sure if you've heard of Water's Soul.
No.
It's an 80-foot sculpture by a Spanish artist from Barcelona. It stands in the Newport section of Jersey City on the Hudson River. And it's this huge head of a woman, her eyes closed, and her finger like this across her lips. I went to see it, and it spoke very deeply to me the following message: stop arguing, stop fighting, learn to listen, not just hear, learn to listen about what's going on out there in our world of tourism. Pay attention and do not, above all, become complacent.
That's right. And how can we create a more sustainable tourism? Because we know that tourism is a vital source of foreign currency and creates value for local communities, but how could we make this more sustainable?
We have to. We simply, absolutely have to. First of all, I will say this. To immortalize the words of the great Aretha Franklin, she sang RESPECT. It's just a simple word, but it is so true. We need to learn to respect one another infinitely. I have said this, and I clone the phrase from someone else. This is not my quote, but it certainly rings true on so many levels. The person who wrote the quote, I don't even know who this person is, but it's Clifton Fademan, I believe, says, remember, when you travel to a foreign country, it's not designed to make you comfortable. It's designed to make its own people comfortable. So if you take that, you combine that to respect, I think we all need to respect one another a great deal more. And then education and setting expectations from our side of the table as travel individuals. Education is vitally important because you consider sustainable tourism, we tend to forget that you hear of all the big companies and the airlines and so on and so forth, but you tend to not place in the same category of the hospitality industry all the way down the chain to that man or woman who is washing your dishes at the end of a meal in a resort or a restaurant, the unseen heroes of our industry.
Beautiful.
So I always say, set expectations appropriately to travelers. You're going to a foreign land. Adapt or don't go. Get involved with local communities. Sometimes get lost. You find the greatest adventures when you get lost in an area that you don't quite know where you are, but that's where you'll meet the most interesting people. Sit down, take pause, take a breath and listen. Don't just hear, listen. Once you've done that, you will have created a level of more sustainable tourism. The World Tourism Organization has three simple pillars of sustainability, and they are employing environmentally friendly practices. In other words, help conserve natural heritage and biodiversity. Next one, most important, respect the culture of your host community. Conserving their built and living cultural heritage and traditional values is of vital importance. And then, of course, providing tangible and social economic benefit for local communities as well. If you support fair wages for employees and contributing to poverty alleviation in host communities, you will have created the perfect model for sustainability in tourism. I completely believe in it. I buy into that. And that's why we always do what we can to support small business, to support female-owned business. A young woman I interviewed recently, her name is Hira Shak. She's the owner of the Hype Room in Hoboken. She suggested when I asked her what message she would give to other young women who were rising up to become their own entrepreneurs. And she said, take up space, bring space to the table because you, as a woman, have a lot to offer. And I buy into that completely and I pat her on the back for that. Ladies, take up space. You need to bring your very valid points to the table. It's not just a men's world.
Beautiful. And I would like to know, first of all, I love the name of the company, Vuitton Travel. You are the CEO. Tell us,
Yes.
What do you do and what is the mission of this company?
Well, first of all, we want to set the standard in high design, private designed custom travel. Mm-hmm. As I see it right now, we are educators. We do not provide travel globally. We have selected very certain areas around the globe that we focus on. This way, we can become, I want to say the experts in those particular fields, but it goes beyond that because we, for example, work closely with Morocco. It's a sensational destination, every sense. It's mind-blowing, to be quite honest with you. And I think that because that's one of our focal points, we know people, we know hoteliers, we know the general management. If you're traveling and you're traveling on a special occasion, an anniversary, a birthday, something fun, we're in the position where we can pick up the phone to the general manager of the Oberoi in Marrakesh and say, we have a guest coming. This is who she is. This is what she's celebrating. Look out for her. Make sure she has an impeccably wonderful time. So we go beyond the steps of just, who are you? What's your name? What's your number? Get you on a tour, get you out. We also feel that mass tourism is something of the past for the immediate future. If you came to me to make reservations for your journey anywhere that we serve, I would only give you private arrangements. I would never put you in a vehicle with 45 other unknown people because you don't know who's obeying to the rules that we all should be following at this point. Are you vaccinated? Will you socially distance yourself from me? And when you're thrown into a mix like that with many people, you can't be offensive. That would be inappropriate on every single level. But I just think that privatization of tours now for you, your elders, your parents, your children, generational travel is the way to go. And I'm finding that a lot of people are doing that. And that's our mission. In addition to educating our travelers of, this is what you'll expect in Egypt. This is what you'll expect in Turkey. This is what you can expect in Oman, and so on. So we definitely focus on the private matters that touch travelers' souls. And then we try and steer people away from OTAs. And I daren't say this, but online travel agencies where you can just go and Google up something and say, oh, I'll book that hotel, that hotel, that hotel, and that hotel. Yes, it works. But now that things are sort of returning to normal, we're seeing that many people are flocking back to us travel professionals because the drama that surrounded refunds, passengers scattered all over the world with nothing to do and nowhere to go, and the know-with-all of how to handle it via, I'll mention no names, but you know what I'm talking about, online booking forums. People need travel agents. So our industry that took a dip at one point in life when the internet age came to be has now become a high-priced commodity. And we don't fleece passengers. We give really good deals and exceptional service. But if you were traveling with me and something went wrong with your journey somewhere along the way, you would have access to pick up the phone, dial me directly on my direct phone and say, hey, I have a problem, sort it out. The response would be, sorry about that, get on with your vacation, enjoy the next step, I'll take care of this issue while you enjoy yourself. So I think that that is the value of Vuitton Travel, is that we don't have numbers. We have close connections to people, both on the ground and our guests that travel with us.
And any of your clients is related to MICE tourism for business?
We do. Yes, absolutely. I find that there's a lot of MICE incentive or MICE travel to Egypt. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to grow even more. Here's why. Egypt, I hear this often. Hi, I want to travel to Egypt. It's a bucket list destination. I want to see Egypt before I die. It's my once in a lifetime opportunity. I disagree with you. Egypt is the gift that keeps on giving. They're always digging up some amazing archaeological site some amazing new artifacts or temples or sarcophagi or whatever the case may be. So in my opinion, Egypt is not a once-in-a-lifetime destination. You have to repeat visits over and over and over. But I say that I think that they will become more of a MICE destination heading into next year is because of the opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum, GEM. This multi-billion-dollar complex it was set to open. It was delayed, of course, because of COVID, but it's been sponsored in part by the Japanese government. And for the first time in history, it is going to display almost the entire Tutankhamun collection of artifacts that were taken from his tomb, which into itself makes it a wow experience. Additionally, Egypt is they've gone through this whole metamorphosis. They've built from the ground up a new city to the northeast of the city of Cairo, and it's called New Cairo. What they plan to do is take all of the embassies, all of the big trade out of the city of Cairo as we know it now, move all of that to New Cairo, thus freeing up the population density in Cairo and making it an easier city to navigate. So they're doing marvelous jobs. I can't begin to explain how much Egypt is doing in putting itself in a number one global position as a come and visit us once and then come back again and perhaps again.
Wonderful. Tell us about New York, which of course is a MICE destination, but now you're becoming the director of the New York City Tourism USA. What plans do you have and what kind of marketing tools are you using? I know that you're streaming some series about it. So can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yes, of course. First of all, I think that New York City is perfectly equipped to become the number one MICE destination in the United States of America. Right now, we see so much going on in Las Vegas, and that's fun. You know, what do you do after your meetings? You go gamble, you leave with I wasted so much money in Las Vegas. And whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas.
But if you consider what we have here in New York City, the David Javits Center has just undergone a major renovation program. So they're huge. We have so many new things opening here in New York City. For example, just today, the Summit One Vanderbilt opened its viewing deck. I was honored enough to go twice already to see it, and it is simply amazing. If you consider just the I in MICE, which is the incentive side of a destination, there's so much to do here. And while people on incentives perhaps could be attending meetings in the morning, you know as well as I that generally spouses do come along with. Well, there's so much for the spouses to do here. All of the sightseeing, all of the shopping, all of the new summit decks that we have, the summit experience, which we have, all of the observation decks, the cruises, the helicopters, and so on. So what we're doing is putting together packages that will say, when the participants are in a meeting, this is what the spouses will do. We have fine accommodations in the city. The Hilton on 6th Avenue has just reopened, and everybody is into this whole new, see the Well Health seal on the outside and feel good going inside. Well, the same thing applies with all of the hotel properties that we work with here in Manhattan. We'll approach this via the social media, but then of course, by way of our branding, we have a very extensive mailing list, as you can well imagine. So we shoot out information all the time, over and over and over, just as a reminder that things are stabilizing and coming back to normal, not yet completely normal. You need, as you know, to wear a mask indoors. You need to prove vaccination status before you go indoors, all of which I think is really very good. But we keep our clients apprised of the goings on in this destination. There's so much to do. There's so much to see, not just for meetings, but also for accompanying members of a meeting. And then, of course, when it comes to exhibitions, and when it comes to conferences, we have some of the finest in the world. Again, I go back to the Javits Center, but there's so many other venues for smaller groups. It doesn't have to be this huge, sprawling mass of people. The smaller groups coming into the city that want to have meetings or incentives or whatever the case may be, we've everything to offer. There's no reason that New York shouldn't be put right to the top of the list.
Beautiful. And do you think that after they open up for Europe in the 8th of November next year, we could see that conventions, trade shows, and conferences are coming back?
I do. I absolutely do. I think it will be slow. I don't think that the 8th of November and by the 9th of November, we're all going to be standing sort of saying, come, 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 come. I don't believe that, particularly because we're going into the winter season now. So, people are more inclined to want to stay at home for the holidays and so on. I do think come spring and definitely summer of next year, we'll see a lot of incoming MICE travel from Europe and also from the United States, possibly Canada as well, and Latin America. It's all, they call us the center of the world, and in some weird way we are. So I think, it's a bucket list destination. And it should be put right up there for the MICE trade. It really should. I do believe that we will see an influx coming back, but by summer next year.
And just to wrap up, what means a slow travel? And if it has two parts, the question, and if business travel could be also a slow traveling.
Slow travel is something I coined as being the new luxury. If we step back I'm not a young guy anymore. When my second trip abroad from my native South Africa was, and this was in 11 days, listen to this: London, Paris, Lucerne, Lugano, Venice, Munich, Heidelberg, Cologne, Amsterdam. Wow. You couldn't pay me to do that now.
Again, of course.
You couldn't give me enough money to do that ever again. So I've come to the point that slow travel is absolutely the way to go. And by that I mean, come to New York. We're busy creating a series now based on not only how, but why you should spend 7 days in, and then we have various cities that we're working on. They're audiovisual e-books for people to guide themselves with our assistance and our knowledge to slow down. If you consider day one of your itinerary is you've always arrived from somewhere. Doesn't matter if you've arrived from Madrid or from Amsterdam or from Rio or from Los Angeles. You're tired. Whichever way you look at it, you're not going to hit the street running. And particularly now, the sun sets earlier and so on. So I always suggest take today and just rest. Get a meal near your hotel, calm down, get your body adjusted to this time zone. Now start your journey tomorrow. And what are you left with? Only 6 days. So stay for 7 days and 6 nights, because there's a lot to see, from the museums to theater, to the observation decks, to the sort of the top 10, like Central Park. Plus there's shopping. Plus there's the outer boroughs, not just Manhattan. There's the New York Botanical Gardens up in the Bronx. Ride the Staten Island ferry. It's about a 3-hour experience to and from, but you get these fabulous views. So slow travel is, in my opinion, the way to go now, because you will see more. you will understand more. And above all, you can stop and you can talk to local people. Local people are, in my opinion, the salt of any city. And here's where you're going to learn to assimilate yourself into this culture. What makes New York, New York? What makes Cairo, Cairo? The only way you find that out is by communicating with the people.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
right.
Having said all that, I don't believe that slow travel will work for a business traveler who has to come, conduct business, and leave. Unless they can plan it to do business on a Friday and a Monday and spend a weekend in town and enjoy themselves with the sights.
Very good. So thank you so much, Ken. I think that you really give us a lot of your experience and your wisdom. And I really, truly enjoyed listening to you. You make it so exciting to go to Cairo, to New York, to all these destinations that you mentioned. All your passion, you put it into it. And I just want to get into the plane and go.
I'm glad. Mask up and travel. We're all nomadic. We all have that sort of instinct to move and see the world and meet different people and learn tolerance.
And I love the fact that you still believe in the people business, not just going online, but to talk to people and be there when you organize your trip. So I really like that. Yeah.
Well,
so thank you, Ken. Thank you.
Indeed. It was lovely speaking with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Indeed.